This is a video on how to repair the screen, the burnt out screen on a ZoomerX. There's 5 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, plus one in the center, so that's 6 screws that hold the case together. Once you've loosened all 6 screws, you can remove the cover, revealing the PCB. There's an additional 2 screws that need to be removed from there. Once you remove those 2 screws, the PCB can then be removed, revealing the interior. The front bezel just pulls away. You can see it's got the indicator lamps for the dash, and the LEDs are in there. This is the screen that we're going to be replacing. There's 2 little plastic clips that need to be levered up, and then you can lift up the screen itself. These are the terminals that we're going to be desoldering. We'll be using a hot air gun to remove the solder. This will take some time, but it works very well. In the past, I used to just cut the wires and desolder by hand, but I found that the hot air gun set to 400 works a lot better. You can see that with a little bit of applied pressure, you can remove the screen. Sorry for the shaky cam, I'm using one hand. So there's the old screen. That's a kind of heat damage. Not sure if it's the LCD itself or if it's the sun that does that. They are always exposed. And here's the new one that I bought here in Thailand from Lazada. It's around about 600 baht. That's just under $20. Relocate the screen into the housing and push the glass down until it clicks into place. When it's clicked into place, the legs for the connections should be virtually lined up. But before we install this, we're going to have to clean up the remaining solder so that the holes are visible, so the legs can poke through. Once you've cleaned the holes so that they're visible, you can then put the screen back over the front and start to do the line-up process, pushing the legs through the holes and moving them around with a toothpick or a small screwdriver until they all line up and press in. And right here you can see the very reason why you have to make sure, just there, you have to make sure that the solder holes are completely clear, otherwise it will pull up the PCB pad which you're going to be soldering to, so you'll be making more work for yourself. So once those connectors are soldered back in again, just use isopropyl alcohol to clean up the flux, and the new screen is installed. Assembly is just the reverse of disassembly. These screws go in, tighten down, that's the PCB held into place. Then the back plate goes back on again, and then you can go and test it on the bike. All the screws are now back in place. Let's go and test it on the bike. Testing is just a case of fitting it into a harness, the harness, and turning the power on. Two hands needed for that. Okay, it's booted, it's got the mileage, it's got the fuel. That's all we need. Thanks very much.